Breaking news that nobody saw coming. Tamar Braxton has finally spoken. After months of silence, cryptic Instagram posts, deleted photos, and fans tearing each other apart in comment sections, the soul diva, the reality TV queen, the woman who once told the world, "I will never let a man dim my light" again, has just dropped the bomb that explains everything. Tonight, in an exclusive, raw, no-holds-barred sit-down that left even the producers speechless, Tamar Braxton reveals the real reason her marriage to Jeremy Jr. Robinson imploded, and honey, it is not what you think. Forget the rumors about cheating. Forget the whispers about money fights. Forget the blogs screaming, "Another Braxton sister curse." This is darker. This is deeper. This is the kind of truth that shatters families, ends lifelong friendships, and makes you question everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and what really happens behind the closed doors of a seemingly perfect Hollywood power couple. Sources close to the situation are calling it the betrayal that broke Tamar. Others are whispering that Junior crossed a line no man should ever cross when he married into the Braxton empire. And Tamar? She's not just hurt, she's furious. She's wounded, and now she's ready to burn it all down with the truth. You've watched the red carpet smiles. You've seen the matching outfits. You've heard the love songs. But tonight, you're about to hear what really happened when the cameras stopped rolling. Buckle up, because Tamar Braxton is about to tell a story that will leave jaws on the floor and marriages across America checking their own locks. This is the moment she breaks her silence, and nothing will ever be the same. Stay right here. You're not gonna want to miss a single word. The lights dimmed in the studio as Tamar Braxton sat across from me, her signature red lipstick still flawless but her eyes carrying a storm that no makeup could hide. She took one deep breath, fingers twisting the diamond ring she still wore, "Not out of love," she said, "but out of unfinished business. I stayed quiet for so long because I didn't want to give the blogs what they wanted," she began, voice low and steady at first. But silence started feeling like I was protecting him. And I'm done protecting Jeremy Robinson. Fans had been circling the same theories for months: another Braxton sister marriage down in flames, infidelity rumors swirling like smoke, money disappearing faster than love. But Tamar leaned forward, eyes locking straight into the lens like she was talking to every single person who ever cheered her on. It wasn't another woman. It wasn't the money fights people keep pushing. It was something way more personal. Something that cut deeper than any side chick ever could. She paused, letting the weight settle. Jeremy started changing right after we said I do. At first it was little things: phone always face down, late night studio sessions he never invited me to, texts he'd delete before I could glance. I told myself it was the music business. He's producing, he's hustling, that's what producers do. But then the arguments started. Not the cute, we're passionate kind we used to laugh about on Braxton Family Values. These were different. These were cold, calculated. One night in particular still haunts her, she said. They were in their Calabasas home, the one with the infinity pool that overlooked the hills. Dinner was over, wine glasses half empty, and Tamar had just finished singing a new hook she wrote for his upcoming project. She was proud. He barely looked up from his phone. "Baby, you hear me?" she asked. He nodded, but his thumbs kept moving. She reached over playfully to see what was so important. He snatched the phone away like she'd burned him. That was the first crack. He'd never done that before, Tamar recalled, voice cracking just a little. "Never hid anything from me. We were supposed to be partners, in music, in life, in everything. But that night he looked at me like I was the enemy. Like I was intruding on something that wasn't mine to see." The next morning she woke up to him already gone. No note, no text, just an empty side of the bed and her heart already sinking. When he came back that evening he acted like nothing happened, kissed her forehead, called her queen, said he had a meeting run long. But Tamar isn't stupid. She started paying attention. The deleted messages. The sudden interest in privacy settings. The way he'd leave the room to take calls. She didn't want to be that wife, the one who checks phones, the one who turns into a detective in her own marriage. But doubt has a way of growing legs. Weeks turned into months of this slow poison. Tamar tried talking. "Jeremy, what's going on? Are we okay?" He'd smile that $1,000,000 smile, pull her close, whisper how much he loved her crazy ass, how she was his muse. And for a minute she'd believe it. Because love makes you want to believe. But then the pattern would repeat. Another late night, another studio emergency, another time he'd come home smelling like a different cologne than the one she bought him. Then came the night everything shifted. Tamar was supposed to be at a girls' trip in Miami with Tony and Tracy. She canceled last minute, intuition screaming louder than excitement. She drove home early, quietly, keys in hand like she was sneaking into her own house. The lights were low, music playing soft, laughter, not just his, a woman's laugh, high, familiar, confident. Tamar froze in the foyer, heart hammering so loud she thought they'd hear it. She crept closer. There, in their living room, on the white sectional she picked out herself, sat Jeremy, and her own backup singer, the one who'd been on every tour, the one Tamar called Little Sis, the one who cried on Tamar's shoulder when her own man cheated. They weren't kissing, not yet, but the way he looked at her, the way his hand rested on her knee like it belonged there, tore something inside Tamar that hasn't healed since. She didn't scream, didn't throw things, she just stepped into the light. Really, was all she said. One word. Jeremy jumped up like he'd been electrocuted. The girl, let's call her Kayla for the story, froze, eyes wide, guilt written all over her face. Tamar didn't wait for explanations. She turned, walked upstairs, packed a small bag, and left. No dramatics, no reality TV style meltdown, just quiet devastation. But that wasn't the end. Oh no, that was only the beginning of the real betrayal. Because when Tamar got to Tony's house that night, sobbing in her big sister's arms, the phone started blowing up. Not with apologies from Jeremy, not with Kayla begging for forgiveness, but with screenshots, from mutual friends, from people in the industry. Screenshots of Jeremy and Kayla going back months. Hotel receipts, late-night texts, inside jokes, photos of them at events Tamar couldn't attend because she was working. And the worst part? Some of those messages were sent while Tamar was literally in the next room sleeping. He was playing me, Tamar said, tears finally spilling now. He was playing me in my own house. With someone I trusted, someone I brought into our circle. And the whole time he was telling me I was paranoid. Gaslighting me, making me feel crazy for noticing what was right in front of my face. The family found out in waves. Tony was livid, ready to confront Jeremy herself. Trina wanted to pray it away. Tracy just held Tamar and let her cry. But the deepest cut came from their mother Evelyn. Evelyn had welcomed Jeremy like a son. Cooked for him, prayed over him, told Tamar he was different from the others. When Evelyn heard the full story she didn't yell. She just sat quietly, then whispered, I failed you, baby. I told you he was safe. That broke Tamar more than anything. Fans started noticing the cracks before the public statement. Tamar stopped posting couple pics. Junior's Instagram went private, then public, then private again. Cryptic captions about loyalty and knowing your worth. The blogs went wild. Tamar Braxton headed for divorce number 3. Junior Robinson caught cheating with backup singer? But Tamar stayed silent. Until now. I didn't speak because I was ashamed, she admitted. Ashamed that I didn't see it. Ashamed that I let another man make me question my value. But I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm angry. And I'm free. She wiped her eyes, sat up straighter. This isn't just about a cheating husband. This is about a man who looked me in my face every day, told me he loved me, built a life with me, and then chose to destroy it piece by piece. And he didn't just betray me. He betrayed the family that opened their arms to him. He betrayed the fans who rooted for us. And most of all, he betrayed himself. The room was so quiet you could hear her heartbeat. Then she smiled, just a small, dangerous one. But here's the part they don't know yet. The part I'm about to tell the world. Because what Jeremy did, it wasn't just an affair. There's more, so much more. And when I finish this story, you're going to understand why I can never go back. She leaned closer to the camera. You ready? Because this next part, this is where it really gets ugly. Tamar took a slow sip of water, set the glass down with deliberate calm, and looked straight ahead like she was finally ready to drop the second bomb. What people don't know, what Jeremy still thinks he can keep hidden, is that the affair with Kayla wasn't even the worst part. It was the cover-up. The lies he told not just to me, but to everyone around us. And the money. God, the money. She explained how, while the affair was happening behind her back, Jeremy had been quietly moving funds. Not huge embezzlement-level theft, at first, but steady, sneaky transfers. Their joint business account for the production company they started together, True Rob Music, suddenly had unexplained withdrawals. Studio equipment, he'd say when she asked. New plugins for the next big artist. But when she finally got access to the statements, after changing every password he had access to, she saw Venmo payments to Kayla labeled reimbursement, thousands of dollars. Cash apps, Zelle transfers at 2 in the morning. He was paying her, Tamar said, voice rising for the first time. Not just buying her gifts. He was paying her like she was on payroll, like she was his secret employee, or worse. The betrayal deepened when Tamar discovered Kayla had been signed to a management deal, under Jeremy's solo production banner, something he never mentioned to Tamar, even though they were supposed to be 50-50 partners in everything. Kayla's name was on contracts Tamar had never seen. Songs Tamar helped write were being funneled to Kayla's solo project. Melodies Tamar hummed in the shower were showing up on demos Kayla was shopping around town. He was building her career on the bones of mine, Tamar said, shaking her head. Using our marriage, our connections, our money, to launch the woman he was sleeping with. That's not cheating. That's sabotage. Toni Braxton got involved at this point. Big sister mode activated. She called a family meeting, no cameras, no microphones, just the sisters, Mama Evelyn, and Vincent Herbert on FaceTime because even though he and Tamar were long divorced, he still cared about the kids and the family name. Toni laid it out plain. This man is not just hurting Tamar. He's trying to destroy her legacy. We built this brand together. We don't let outsiders come in and pick it apart, Tracy cried the whole meeting. Trina kept saying, we gotta pray harder, but Tamar? She was past prayer. She wanted receipts, proof, justice. So she hired a private investigator, quietly, no tabloid leaks. The pie came back with more than she bargained for. Photos of Jeremy and Kayla at a boutique hotel in Beverly Hills. Same weekend Tamar was in Atlanta filming a guest spot on a sitcom. Video of them leaving a studio together at 4 a.m., his arm around her waist. Bank records showing he'd taken out a personal loan in both their names, without telling her, to invest in Kayla's debut EP. The loan payments? Coming straight out of their shared royalty account. When Tamar confronted him with the folder of evidence, Jeremy didn't deny it. He deflected. You're blowing this out of proportion, he said. Kayla is talented. I was helping her the way I help any artist. Tamar laughed, a bitter, broken sound. You help artists by sleeping with them? By stealing from your wife to fund their dreams? He got loud then. Accused her of being insecure. Said she was jealous because Kayla was younger, hungrier, not jaded like you've become. Those words hit like a slap. Tamar stood there in their kitchen, the same kitchen where they used to dance to old Prince records, and felt something inside her finally snap clean in half. She filed for divorce the next week. No public announcement, no joint statement, just papers served to him at his new, temporary, condo in West Hollywood, the one he'd quietly leased 3 months earlier. When the process server knocked, Jeremy opened the door in basketball shorts and a tank top, Kayla visible in the background wearing one of Tamar's old tour hoodies. He signed, didn't fight it, didn't even ask to talk, just said, tell Tamar I wish her the best, like they were business associates wrapping up a failed collab. But the family drama was far from over. Jeremy started talking, not to Tamar, to the blogs. Anonymous sources claiming Tamar was emotionally abusive, that she controlled the money, that she made his life hell, and he had to escape. The blogs ate it up. Headlines screamed, Junior Robinson speaks out, Tamar Braxton was the real problem. Fans split down the middle. Some rode hard for Tamar. We've seen her hard on TV for years. He's lying. Others turned vicious. She's always the victim. Maybe he got tired of the drama. Twitter wars erupted. Instagram comment sections became battlegrounds. Even some of Tamar's own backup singers went quiet, afraid of picking sides and losing gigs. Then came the twist no one expected. Kayla released a single, a sultry R&B track called Hidden Feelings. The lyrics? Thinly veiled shots. Lines about loving in the shadows, stealing time from a queen who didn't deserve the crown. The beat? Produced by Jeremy. The hook? Sounded suspiciously close to a melody Tamar had once played for him on piano. Tamar heard it on the radio while driving to therapy. She had to pull over because the tears came so fast she couldn't see the road. That was my melody, she whispered to herself. He gave her my pain and turned it into her payday. The family rallied harder. Toni went live on Instagram, no filter, no script. My sister is hurting. A man she loved took her trust, her money, her music, and tried to give it away. If you're writing for Kayla right now, you're writing against truth. Tracy posted old photos of Tamar and Jeremy looking happy, captioned, Love shouldn't hurt like this. Trina wrote a long open letter about forgiveness, but made it clear forgiveness didn't mean reconciliation. Mama Evelyn stayed silent in public, but privately told Tamar, baby, sometimes God removes people so he can make room for peace. Tamar started therapy. Real therapy, not the soundbite kind for reality TV. She cut her hair shorter than it had been in years, a symbolic chop. Started wearing less makeup on camera. Stopped forcing smiles. And slowly, she began writing again. Not for Jeremy, not for Kayla, for herself. Songs about betrayal, about rising, about realizing your worth isn't tied to a ring or a duet or a man's approval. But just when it seemed like she might heal quietly, another layer peeled back. The pie dug deeper, because Tamar wasn't done asking questions. And what he found next made even Tony gasp when Tamar told her over the phone at 3 in the morning. "It's not just Kayla," Tamar said, voice shaking. "There's someone else. Someone closer. Someone I never suspected in a million years." She paused, letting the silence stretch. "And when you hear who it is, you're gonna need to sit down." Tamar's voice dropped even lower, almost a whisper, like the walls themselves might be listening. "The person who hurt me the most in all of this wasn't Kayla. Kayla was just the symptom. The real poison came from someone who's been in my life since day one. Someone I shared blood with. Someone I trusted with my secrets, my dreams, my children." She let that hang for a beat, eyes glassy but fierce. "It was my own cousin, Shanice. Yes, Shanice. The one who used to babysit Logan and Logan's little brother when I was on the road. The one who called me, T, like we were sisters closer than sisters. The one who posted, 'Ride or die for my fam,' under every picture of me and Jeremy when things looked perfect." The revelation hit like a freight train even in the telling. Shanice had been around the marriage from the start, helping plan the wedding, staying over during late-night writing sessions, even crashing on the couch after family barbecues. Tamar thought she was family support. Turns out she was the inside man. Or woman. The pie's deeper dive uncovered text threads between Jeremy and Shanice going back almost 2 years, before the wedding bells even rang. Nothing overtly romantic at first. Just, "She's stressing me out again," from Jeremy. "You know how Tamar gets, just breathe," from Shanice. Then it escalated. Jeremy venting about Tamar's moods. Shanice feeding him lines, "She doesn't appreciate you like I would." Advice turning into flirtation. Flirtation turning into late night, "You up?" messages when Tamar was asleep upstairs. But the gut punch? Shanice was the one who introduced Kayla to Jeremy in the first place. She thought she was playing matchmaker for his career, Tamar said bitterly. Told him Kayla had star quality and needed a real producer. Next thing I know, Kayla's in my studio, in my home, in my husband's bed. And my cousin was the bridge. Shanice didn't stop at introductions. She covered for them. Lied to Tamar's face when Tamar asked why Jeremy was acting distant. "Girl, he's just stressed about the label deal." Deleted evidence when Jeremy asked her to. "I got you, bro." Even sent Kayla money once when Kayla's rent was late, using funds from a family emergency. Venmo Tamar had sent Shanice to help with her own car note. The betrayal looped in on itself: family money, family trust, family lies. When Tamar finally confronted Shanice, over FaceTime because she couldn't bear to be in the same room, the cousin didn't deny much. "It wasn't like that, T. I was just trying to help him. You were always so busy, so focused on your come-up. He needed somebody to listen." Tamar stared at the screen, incredulous. "He had me to listen. He had a wife. You gave him permission to destroy us," Shanice cried then, big dramatic tears. "I love you, cousin. I didn't mean for it to go this far," but Tamar wasn't buying the performance. "You meant every step you took. You chose him over me. Blood over everything? Nah, not this time." The family fractured harder than ever. Tony took Tamar's side immediately. Shanice crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. Tracy tried to mediate. "We're all hurting. Let's talk it out." Trina quoted scripture about forgiveness 70 times 7. Mama Evelyn? She went quiet for days. When she finally spoke to Tamar, it was soft but final. "I raised y'all to protect each other. She didn't protect you. That's on her now." Shanice got iced out. No more invites to Sunday dinner. No more group chats. No more family first posts from the Braxtons that included her name. Jeremy, sensing the tide turning, tried one last play. He showed up at Tamar's new place, unannounced, flowers in hand, looking like a man who'd finally realized what he lost. "Baby, I messed up. I let people get in my head. Shanice, Kayla, they fed my ego. But you're my real one. Let's fix this." Tamar stood in the doorway, arms crossed, security already on speed dial behind her. "You don't get to rewrite the story now that the credits are rolling. You had years to choose me. You chose everything else," he begged. Cried. Promised therapy, new music together, a clean slate. Tamar listened, really listened, for the first time without hope clouding her judgment. Then she said the words that ended it for good. "Jeremy, I don't hate you. I just don't love you anymore. And that's scarier for you than any anger I could throw. Because anger means I still care enough to fight. This is peace. And you're not invited to it." He left with his head down. The flowers stayed on the step like wilted evidence. Tamar closed the door, slid down it, and cried, not from pain this time, but from relief. The kind of cry that washes everything clean. The fallout kept coming in waves. Kayla's single flopped, radio stations quietly dropped it after the blogs connected the dots. Jeremy's production credits dried up, artists didn't want the drama attached. Shanice tried to spin her own narrative on a podcast. I was caught in the middle, trying to keep the peace, but the comments roasted her alive. Cousin betrayal is a new low even for reality TV. Blood means nothing to some people. Tamar, meanwhile, started rebuilding. Small steps. Writing in a home studio with no one else's name on the door. Therapy twice a week. Long talks with her boys about what real love looks like. She even started dating again, quietly, nothing public. A producer friend who'd always been respectful. No rush, no pressure, just someone who looked at her like she was enough exactly as she was. But the story wasn't finished twisting. Because right when Tamar thought the worst was behind her, an anonymous email landed in her inbox. Subject line: "You need to see this before it goes public." Attached was an audio file. Jeremy's voice. A therapy session recording, illegally obtained, but crystal clear. In it, he wasn't remorseful. He was smug. Tamar thinks she's untouchable because she's a Braxton. But I took what I needed. The connections, the songs, the money. Kayla's just the start. When I'm done, she'll wish she never met me. Tamar played the clip once. Twice. Then forwarded it to her lawyer with 3 words. Use everything. The war wasn't over. It was just moving to a different battlefield. She looked back into the camera, chin high. So yeah, that's the real reason. Not just cheating. Not just money. It was a calculated dismantling of everything I built. By the man I slept next to. By the cousin I fed from my table. But here's what they didn't count on. I'm still standing. And I'm about to tell my whole truth. No filter, no apologies. Because the only thing left to protect now is me. She smiled then, small, real, dangerous. And trust me, the next chapter? It's mine to write. The anonymous audio clip wasn't just a smoking gun, it was dynamite. Tamar's lawyer moved fast. Within 48 hours they had forensic experts confirm the voice was Jeremy's, timestamped to a session he'd booked under a fake name at a low-key wellness center in Malibu. The recording had been leaked by someone inside that circle, maybe a disgruntled assistant, maybe an ex-friend tired of the lies. Tamar didn't care who sent it. She only cared that it existed. She played the clip for Tony first. They sat in Tony's home theater, lights off, just the two of them and the sound of Jeremy's smug voice filling the dark. She thinks she's the victim? Please, I built her comeback. Without me producing those tracks, she'd still be crying over Tank. Tony's jaw clenched so hard Tamar heard it click. He said that? Tony whispered. Tamar nodded. He said a lot more. About how he let me think I was in control. How the Braxton name opened doors he walked through like he owned them. How Kayla was easier because she didn't come with baggage. Tony reached over, squeezed Tamar's hand until it hurt. We're ending this man's career. Quietly, legally, permanently. The next family Zoom call was tense. Mama Evelyn joined from Georgia, Bible open on her lap like armor. Lord, give us strength not to repay evil with evil, she started, but her voice cracked when Tamar played the audio for everyone. Tracy covered her mouth. Trina closed her eyes and started rocking back and forth. Vincent, on from his side of the screen, looked ready to drive over and handle it himself. This ain't just divorce, he said. This is theft. Emotional, financial, creative. We protect our own. Even the cousins who'd stayed neutral before started texting Tamar privately. We had no idea. We're with you. Shanice tried one last Hail Mary. She showed up at Tamar's gate, uninvited, mascara already running, holding a bouquet of white roses like they could erase 2 years of deception. Security turned her away, but she yelled through the intercom. Please. It was a mistake. Jeremy manipulated me too. I was young, stupid, I thought I was helping the family. Tamar watched the whole thing on the Ring camera feed, stone-faced. She didn't buzz her in. Didn't respond. Just let the silence speak louder than any curse word ever could. Later that night Shanice posted a tearful video, private account, but screenshots spread anyway. I'm sorry to my cousin. I let jealousy win. Pray for me. The comments were merciless. Jealousy? You helped destroy her marriage. Blood don't mean loyalty. She went radio silent after that. Last anyone heard, she moved back to Maryland, away from the spotlight she'd chased so hard. Jeremy's side went quiet too, at first. Then his PR team tried damage control. A carefully worded statement. Mr. Robinson deeply regrets any pain caused during a difficult period in his marriage. He wishes Ms. Braxton peace and success. No apology. No accountability. Just corporate polish. The blogs called it weak. Fans called it cowardly. Tamar didn't respond publicly. Instead, she dropped a single, unannounced, midnight release. Title: Ghosted. The beat was haunting, minor keys, her voice rawer than it had been in years. Lyrics that cut deep without naming names. You smiled in my mirror, stole the reflection, built your throne on my affection, now the crown don't fit, you counterfeit. It went viral in hours. Streams skyrocketed. Radio picked it up despite the drama. One DJ played it back to back with Hidden Feelings and said on air, now y'all see who the real songwriter is. Kayla career flatlined. Her EP got shelved. Features dried up. She tried a live apology, teary, rambling, I was young, I got caught up, I respect Tamar so much, but the internet remembered. Old tweets resurfaced where she'd subtweeted Tamar before the affair even started. Some queens stay on the throne too long. Fans screenshotted everything. Kayla deleted her accounts within a week. Tamar kept building. She signed a new distribution deal, independent this time, no middlemen. Started a podcast, Unfiltered with T, where she talked mental health, boundaries, starting over at 40-something. First guest? Tony. They laughed, cried, roasted old exes without mercy. Listeners flooded the comments. This is healing. Finally seeing the real Tamar. Her boys thrived, more time with mom, less chaos at home. Logan even wrote a beat for one of her new tracks. For you, Ma, he said when he sent it. She played it on loop for days. But Jeremy wasn't done fighting dirty. He countersued, claimed Tamar defamed him with the single that, Ghosted, was libel wrapped in melody. He wanted damages, publishing rights to songs they co-wrote, even a share of her new podcast revenue. The filing hit the blogs like a bomb. Junior Robinson sues Tamar Braxton for millions. Tamar's team laughed in the war room. Let him try, her lawyer said. We've got the audio. We've got the bank records. We've got witnesses. He's bluffing because he's scared. Tamar didn't flinch. She posted one simple Instagram story, a black square, white text. Truth doesn't need permission. See you in court. The deposition was brutal. Jeremy showed up in a tailored suit, trying to look untouchable. Tamar walked in jeans, ponytail, no makeup, real, unbothered. When they played the therapy audio in the room, his face drained of color. He stammered, blamed editing, blamed stress, blamed everyone but himself. Tamar just watched. When it was her turn, she spoke calm, clear. He didn't just break my heart. He tried to break my spirit. But I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere. Settlement talks started quietly after that. Jeremy's team wanted it hushed, no admission of fault, no public statement. Tamar's team wanted everything, full ownership of disputed songs, repayment of the loans, a non-disparagement clause that actually meant something. They met in the middle. He paid. He signed over rights. He agreed to stay silent about her, forever. She didn't gloat publicly, just kept creating. Months later, Tamar stood on a small stage at a women's empowerment event. No cameras allowed inside, but word spread. She talked about betrayal, about family wounds, about choosing yourself when everyone else chooses convenience. At the end, she sang an acoustic version of Ghosted. The room was silent except for sniffles and soft amens. When she finished, she looked out at the faces, black women, brown women, white women, young, old, all nodding like they knew the pain too. I used to think love meant holding on, she said into the mic. Now I know it means knowing when to let go. And knowing you're worth more than what tried to break you. Backstage, Tony hugged her tight. You did it, baby sis. Tamar smiled, real, tired, triumphant. We did it, and just like that, the chapter closed. Not with fireworks, not with revenge porn, with quiet power, the kind that lasts. She's writing the next album now. Working title, Rebuilt. No features from exes. No shadows in the credits. Just Tamar, finally free, finally whole. And the world? It's listening closer than ever.